Hey folks, it's Rob, and welcome back. We're continuing our series today with part 18 on Night of the Living Dead by Alan Varney. As you can see, we have some kind of document camera going here. Because the camera's here at the top, I can't just slide things up. I don't know if this is going to work. I may have to return this and try something else, but um, it didn't feel right rolling dice when you can't see, right? So I wanted something to get back on the road. Um, Anyhow, previously, I'll bring up the PDF. We were here, uh, and we have not read this entry. We just have this image in front of us of a wizard and possibly his young apprentice, and we have ghostly and ghastly creatures all around, right? And I don't know, we know what this thing with the whiptail is, and then like some imp-like creature here, and let's see, we got some things at their feet, and he's got like a thing on his belt, and he's got a staff, and there's this brazier here in the foreground with the kind of the swirling dragon or snake on it. It's got like a dragon head on it, right? Uh, Kind of cool, kind of cool. Um, Also, the first actual living people who are conscious that we have come across so far in this adventure. So that's interesting. Let's read the entry and see what we got. 76A. Among the poor dwellings of Southern Ward, Capian Florimeister's home is a small, rich two-story building. It stands as conspicuous as the wizard himself would amongst a crowd of shopkeepers. The house's front door has been torn from its hinges. It lies on the street, yards away from the doorway. Cautiously, sword in hand, you enter the home. Inside, it is still more obvious that other dead have arrived before you. The house is stripped bare of possessions. Every stick of furniture has been taken. Every hanging and painting and decoration of the walls pulled down and carried away. Operating on the assumption that anything in the wizard's house would be magical, the hordes have left only litter and wreckage. If you have been to the wizard's home before in this adventure, stop reading here and go immediately to 141D. If this is the first time you've been here in this adventure, keep reading. Well, it definitely is. But wait, you hear shrieking and wailing upstairs. Still cautious, you ascend the stairs and creep down a hallway. Before you quite reach an open door ahead, you feel invisible waves of magical energy beating at you, feebly trying to force you back. From within your armor, the Cerbicule announces, "Warding magic against evil undead." So that's it. Undead you are, but not evil. This magic has little effect on you, or you realize as you reach the doorway upon the ghosts. This study is lit by a brazier standing atop a tall bronze tripod, and the light illuminates a scene out of a nightmare. At the room's center is an elliptical, unbroken line of chalk, a wizard's protective ward. Outside it, beings of horror circle screaming. Monstrous things, ghosts, spirits, haunts, and the incorporeal undead. Winged skulls with snapping jaws, faceted insect eyes, and rending mandibles. Spindly humanoid things with rubbery mouths and sharp teeth uttering cries of hatred. The two targets of their hate stand within the protective ward. One, a tall, thin man wearing a traditional wizardly robes, branches his staff desperately against his intangible enemies. The other, a girl of perhaps 16, has an ingenuous innocence in her features. She wears the practical garb of a wizard apprentice and an expression of terror. Given the magical equipment at their feet, you suspect they were engaged in potion research when the effluvium hit. Their protective ward, intended to confine the magical accidents to the boundaries of their own area, served instead to fend off the effluvium's attack. Their life spirits still glow brightly. But how long can the ward last? Again and again, the spirits hurl themselves at the invisible barrier protecting the two humans. With each attack, they seem to penetrate a nail breadth further into the barrier. Soon, they will break through. To rescue the wizard and the apprentice, the only humans you've seen awake in Waterdeep. You may attack the ghosts, 74F, try to chase them away, 31D, or try to persuade them to depart, 75A. If you wish merely to stand aside and watch what happens, go to 122E. To depart, leaving these humans to their fate, go to 65E, or you may look around. Well, interesting. We have described a chalk circle, 58B, wizard staff, 113D, wizard flask, 25B, apprentice's amulet, 89B, so that's the choker she's wearing here in the image, I imagine. Mortar and pestle, 159A, that's at her feet. Small sacks, again at her feet, 134B. Brazier and tripod, 50C, that's outside here with me. And furnishings in the room, 112F. So we're under time pressure. Let's see about, try to persuade them to depart, 75A. That's literally the previous page. Hold, spirits, you cry, in the voice of the undead that only they can hear. Leave these humans be. They have done nothing to you. They are nothing to you. Depart. Your masters have other duties for you. The roiling cloud of spirits moves a little apart from the protective ward and stops battering it for a moment. One of the spirits, a grinning skull set atop a flowing sheet-like body with white flames dancing in its eye sockets, separates from the cloud and hovers before you. Its jawbones clack and clatter. Nothing to us, it replies. They are everything to us, everything we are not, everything we should be. They are alive. It rises to hover directly above the cowering humans. Look at him, hale and hearty and enjoying the twilight of a prosperous life. And her, oh wretchedness! See the bloom of youth on her cheek. See the years of life stretching before her. If we do not destroy her now, she will not only live, she may bear young and add to the horrid ranks of the living. Join us. Sweep aside their protective barrier. Help us destroy them. With a wild cry wrenched from the depths of its pain, the ghost again hurls himself against the ward, joined by intangible allies. You'll get nowhere talking to these lunatics, opines the weasel. Return to 76A to choose again. Well, okay, that didn't work. And there's an awful lot of ghosts that try to fight off. Chase them away? I wonder how I'd chase them away. 31D. 31D. Do you carry a hand mirror from the Dragon Tower? If so, stop reading here and go immediately to 104B. If you have no mirror, you must do this the hard way. Well, I do have that mirror, because I'm a freaking classic old school klepto. So, although I didn't take the wart potion, maybe I should have. 104B. 104B. You think of the dark-surfaced mirror from the Dragon Tower. In it you saw your own pain and torture magnified. How would this do? What would this do to these undead? You pull out the mirror and extend it in their direction. The cloud of ghosts, buzzing like a swarm of giant mosquitoes, changes its tone as the mirror comes into view. First, they all make a buzz of inquiry. Then curiosity turns into shrieks of dread, rage, and hatred. Some of the monsters, the hardiest of them, fly away. The rest, 2/3 of them, simply evaporate, melted away by the force of their own wretchedness. You pocket the mirror and turn to face the people you have saved. Their expressions, relief mixed with astonishment and fear of you, show they have no idea what to make of you. Do you have a speaking stone? If so, go to 11A. If not, go to 42B. Well, I do have a speaking stone. Let's go to 11A. 11A. I'm Shalara, and this is my master, Captain Fleurmeister, says the young apprentice says, wonder in her voice. Do you understand me? I do. She continues. We were preparing a potion of giant strength at last midnight. Then these awful hordes and ghosts broke in. We were protected by our wards, but nobody else has come to save us, so we've had to resist them alone all this time. It's been terrible. Where is everybody?" Not pausing for an answer, the breathless apprentice speeds on. "What is worse, Master Capian has been affected by the side effect of the potion preparation. His mind has gone a bit, well, astray. It happens sometimes." The wizard says succinctly, "Skarlzel from Gork." "It's a good thing I can translate," says Shalara. "Master wants to tell you Master wants you to tell us who you are, and what you are, and why one undead has fought against others to save us." "My name is not important," you tell her. "It might be if you could be remembered, of course. I seek the pieces of the Staff of Waterdeep, not to aid the undead that blight this city, but to destroy them." Wide-eyed, Shalara stands on tiptoe to whisper at length into Capian's ear. He nods abruptly, looks at you, though he doesn't seem to focus on you, and makes a simple mystic gesture. A pure yellow glow passes from his hand into you and back into his hand in the blink of an eye. You feel nothing, but he nods, satisfied. Taking a deep breath, he loudly announces, "Gabingo Chalshmish Har Har Arwigat Yamazak." Master says, "You speak the truth," Shalar translates. "I hate to tell you this," pipes up the weasel, "but that's pure gibberish. He's nutty as a pecan cake." Capian continues, gesturing at the room's wall, at the ceiling, at his nose, and at his left eye. "Zoroastrian, Bolongo, Kafkaf, Chloroquinol, and the spleen." Smiling, Shalar again translates, "Master says that you're nutty as a pecan cake because you speak to imaginary rodents, but that your heart is pure. If you save our lives, he will give you the piece he provided to Kelvin for the Staff of Waterdeep." "Imaginary?" the weasel splutters. "What's imaginary? You hear me, you hear them. What's the difference? That way lies solipsism." "In the next room," continues Shalar, "behind the door as it opens, rap 3 times on the wall. A secret panel will open. Inside is a wand. If you bring this to us, we can get out of here, and Capian will give you the piece of the staff. Please," she adds desperately. "Don't do it," sniffs the weasel. "She called me a rodent." But the rancor of a dead weasel is a small price to pay for a piece of the Staff of Waterdeep. You go to the next room, rap thrice upon the wall, and retrieve the silvery wand revealed there. Back in the study, you push the wand into the protective circle. It crosses the ward without resistance, and Shalar gratefully takes it. "Now," she says, "reach into the brazier, and for the next few moments the fire won't hurt you. That's where we put the piece of the staff." You touch the brazier, fighting back fear, and she is right. The flames feel cool to you. You reach in and bring out a section of the staff made of pure ruby, shining in the light of the brazier's flames. Check off the ruby piece on your bookmark list when you take it. It does not count against your limit of 8 possessions, or 12 in my case. Go to 156A to find out more about the Staff of Waterdeep and this piece of it, but first make a note of this section 11A so you may return here after you are finished there. So, we know from previous items that 156A is just going to lead us to the appropriate page entry for which we need for the ruby piece. But I am marking off the ruby right now. I will just use my book quickly to look up the page on 156. And then we'll go directly to where we need to go. The ruby piece is 124C. Okay. And then we'll have to come back here on the opposite end of the book, but so be it. 124C. The ruby was found in a perilous dungeon by an adventurer named Kieran, who treasured it above all other possessions. The Cerbicule relates how, when Kieran's adventuring companion and longtime friend took ill, Kieran unhesitatingly offered the ruby as payment to the wizard who cured him. Recognizing its inestimable value, the wizard felt honored bound to refuse the ruby, but Kieran insisted. The wizard took the stone, but he felt he could not rightfully keep it. He therefore turned it into a healing stone, here in what is now Capion's home, and gave it to an order of healers. There it was used to heal many people. Return now to the text you were reading, which was 11a. Okay, returning to 11a. Let's see here. Seismicity hul lamplast gick endomorph, announces the wizard. Shalar translates. Master says you may have one other item to aid in your quest. The wondrous potion he carries, able to remedy the most grievous injury. And then her voice drops to a murmur. Or my little amulet, the... What? Gozwalla Tiltabom. That gives me some small protection from attack, the apprentice repeats, a hair more loudly. If you choose the healing potion, go to 108B. If you choose the amulet, go to 25D. If you choose neither, you may express your thanks to them, and she expresses theirs to you. Then, with a flourish of the wand, the wizard makes them both, along with the objects in the protective ward, disappear. You wish them well wherever they went. A quick turn around the room with the cerebicule informs you that there's nothing else of interest here. It's time to leave. 65E. Well, I'm gonna a healing potion. I'm undead. Healing potions don't work on undead. We're not doing that. But what we are going to do, I think we'll take the amulet. 25D. 25D. The amulet, you decide. The apprentice bites her lip and looks up at her mentor, who nods sternly. Shalara unhooks the choker and hands you the amulet. Hope it does you some good, she says flatly. It was my birthday present. You exchange thank yous. With a flourish of the wand, the wizard causes them both, and all the other objects in the protective ward, to disappear. If you decide to wear the amulet, it counts as a possession. The shrunken head confirms it is an amulet of protection. While you wear it, enemies you fight must roll one less than than the combat table says they must in order to hit you. For example, if the chart says the creature hits you on a roll of 8 or less, it actually must roll 7 or less to hit. Touring the room with the shrunken head, you find nothing else of use remains. To leave, go to 65E. So we need to update our sheet. I know she didn't want to give that up, but at the same time, not dying will mean the whole city of Waterdeep is saved. So, we like that. Let us, put it down here. Amulet of protection. Which we need to keep in mind next time we get into a combat encounter. Honestly, one less on the die, as it is a 12-sided die, just reflects a straight-up percentage reduction in chance of being hit, as opposed to if you were rolling 2d6, then it's a different function. But, interesting. 65E. 65E. You depart this sad scene, descending to ground level and leaving the home of Capian Floormeister far behind. Mark off the time spent here, if you haven't already. Well, okay, a half hour. Brings us to 11:30 a.m. A tavern that interests the Cerebicule, the Full Cup, lies within half an hour's walk in the Southern Ward. To investigate it, go to 84A. If you don't want to find out why the tavern interests the Shrunken Head, go to 82A to pick another place to visit. Well, I guess we'll go to 84A and knock off a half hour and make it noon, which is half the time we have to do everything we need to do. But on the positive side, we have 7 pieces of the staff so far. On the negative side, I think I may have flubbed 2 pieces along the way. With the Revenant and the Juggling Ghost. But that there's still 5 pieces out there somewhere, although there aren't many places for us to go still. But, this is one of the places we haven't been. So, um, so be it. 84A. Oh, well, we have another scene, don't we? And that seems like a natural place to stop. Thank you very much for joining me. If you are enjoying the series, please, a like is appreciated on any given video. It helps me know, obviously, that you're enjoying the content, but also, it helps drive people to my content by YouTube because it will recommend things that you like. But thank you ever so much for listening or watching or reading along. I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.